what Caitlin Clark had to say. Let me play it for you guys right now. Blow this all the way up here. Let's see.
Very high level, and I think the most important thing for myself, thinking about these CBA negotiations, like this is the biggest moment the WNBA has ever seen, and it's not something that can be messed up. And
No, it can't.
we're gonna fight for everything that we deserve.
Oh wow, my bad, guys. My bad. My bad. My bad.
That can be messed up, and we're gonna fight for everything that we deserve. But at the same time, like
The initial practice session has concluded and Caitlin Clark has addressed media representatives, marking her official return to competitive basketball. This moment arrives after months of waiting, with fans anticipating her comeback since August. While speculation suggested a potential return during the 2025 season that never materialized until now, Clark's presence has immediately generated trending topics and algorithm activity, with discussions centering on women's basketball's current landscape. Clark spoke extensively about the ongoing collective bargaining agreement negotiations, a topic that has dominated off-season conversations. Her comments reveal an athlete deeply engaged with the business side of professional basketball, understanding both player interests and league sustainability.
that can be messed up, and we're gonna fight for everything that we deserve. But at the same time, like we need to play basketball. That's what our fans crave, and that's what all of you crave as well. Is you want the product on the floor. And at the end of the day, that's how you make the money. That's how you're marketable. That's what the fans get excited about. That's what the fans want to show up for. So, it's business and it's a negotiation, and there has to be compromise on both sides. And, we're starting to get down to the wire of it, and it's become really important. And, obviously, I want to help in any way I can, and I tried to educate myself the best I can. Obviously, I can't.
During her media availability, Clark emphasized the critical importance of the current CBA negotiations, describing them as the most significant in league history. She stressed that this opportunity cannot be squandered, as the stakes have never been higher for women's professional basketball. Clark made clear that players intend to fight for everything they deserve while simultaneously recognizing the necessity of actually playing basketball. She acknowledged that fans crave watching games, and media outlets desire the product on the court. Clark explained that basketball performance drives revenue, builds markets, generates fan excitement, and motivates attendance. She characterized the situation as business negotiations requiring compromise from both sides.
Help in any way I can, and I tried to educate myself the best I can. Obviously, I can't speak to every single number. It's pretty complicated, but I think there are different things that we can find ways to say, no, like we certainly deserve that, and we're not going to compromise on that, and then other things that we can probably compromise on. But like I said, like this is the biggest moment in the history of the WNBA, and I don't want that to be forgotten. Similar, it's important that we find a way to play this next season, and I think our fans, and even everybody that has played in this league that has come before us, deserve that as well.
I'm curious just on the.
As negotiations intensify and approach deadlines, the importance of reaching agreement becomes increasingly urgent. Clark expressed willingness to assist negotiations however possible, noting her efforts to educate herself on the complexities involved. She admitted the inability to speak for every player, acknowledging the complicated nature of the discussions. However, she identified certain issues where players cannot compromise, alongside others where flexibility might exist. Most significantly, Clark emphasized not forgetting that this represents the biggest moment in WNBA history. She stressed the importance of ensuring next season happens, believing fans and everyone who built the league's foundation would want play to continue.
Everybody that has played in this league that has come before us deserve that as well.
I'm curious just on the.
Earlier, just talking to people, see about players.
So I'm guessing there's going to be more of this interview coming out. I'm currently looking online, trying to find it. This whole interview with Caitlin Clark has yet to be dropped. I don't know. So from my understanding, it's looking like members of the media is there. From what I've seen.
Her comments suggest someone balancing aggressive advocacy for player rights with pragmatic recognition of business realities and fan expectations. The interview footage appears incomplete, with expectations that additional content will emerge. Media presence at the Durham facility has been confirmed, with reporters obtaining footage and conducting interviews with Clark and potentially other participants. This represents a shift from earlier reports suggesting restricted media access. The WNBA organization released a compilation video featuring Clark, demonstrating recognition of the content demands surrounding her. The footage shows Clark engaging in various basketball activities, reminding fans of the dynamic play that made her the league's most prominent figure.
From what I've seen, members of the media is there down in Durham right now. Look like they're getting footage and getting reports to talk to Caitlin Clark. Now the WNBA did take a moment to put a compilation video together of Caitlin Clark. I stressed to y'all yesterday and today that we have to get Caitlin Clark content, and they're doing a pretty good job.
Multiple content creators have begun producing videos around the released material, reflecting the immediate impact of her return to public basketball activities. Additional clips reveal Clark participating in shooting drills and scrimmages, displaying the skills that defined her career. One notable video captures a long-range three-pointer, shot cleanly through the net, demonstrating her signature shooting ability remains intact after the extended break. Footwear observers noted Clark wearing Nike Kobe Fire Pro shoes, apparently a new model for her. She successfully made deep shots while wearing them, suggesting comfort with the equipment. The shoe choice sparked conversation among fans who track her on-court gear selections.
Whoa. We're going to have to mute that, bro. So as you guys can see, Caitlin Clark is definitely back. This is just a beautiful thing right here, dog. I can't even lie. I'm excited to see Caitlin Clark back with a basketball in her hand. I ain't going to lie to you. Look like everybody's back firing up Caitlin Clark videos. This is what you want to see, man. This is definitely what you want to see. I'm definitely excited to have her back on the basketball court more than anything.
The return generates significance beyond simply seeing Clark play basketball again. Her articulate discussion of CBA negotiations demonstrates leadership within the player community. She positions herself as someone educated on the issues, capable of discussing nuances, and willing to take public stances on matters affecting all league participants. Her emphasis on compromise and pragmatism while maintaining firm positions on non-negotiable items suggests sophisticated understanding of negotiation strategy. Clark recognizes that successful outcomes require both sides making concessions, but certain principles remain sacrosanct. This balanced approach may prove influential as negotiations continue.
Guys, it's been kind of gut-wrenching to see my channel not grow. You know, anybody channel growing, they're simply buying subs, guys. It's just that simple. But just to see her growing and to see footage of her coming out is what you want to see as a creator, bro. Something that has been missed, and that is the Caitlin Clark content. Here's another little snippet here of Caitlin as well.
The timing of her return coincides with critical juncture in WNBA labor relations. Player contracts expire, and the league faces decisions affecting its long-term trajectory. Clark's involvement, both as a prominent player voice and as a figure capable of generating attention, adds weight to the proceedings. Her public statements will likely influence both fan perception and potentially negotiation dynamics. Practice footage reveals an athlete appearing physically ready for competition. Her movements show no apparent limitations, suggesting successful recovery from previous season's injuries.
Snippet here of Caitlin as well. You know, it feel good though, man. It feel good. I'm happy to be back on the channel.
The ability to practice at full intensity, make explosive movements, and execute high-level basketball skills indicates complete physical preparation. Beyond physical readiness, Clark's demeanor during practice sessions suggests positive mental state. She appears engaged, energetic, and enjoying the basketball activities. This contrasts with observations from late last season when she frequently appeared stressed and burdened by external pressures. Team USA Basketball's decision to provide substantial content featuring Clark serves multiple purposes.
And it just kept picking up new injuries because she was never 100% and she wasn't playing until she was 100%. That's genuinely what it sounded like from Caitlin Clark's perspective. And And look, it was the smartest thing to do. The Fever, no offense, they nearly got to the finals, but like nobody thought they were going to get to the finals. Like this isn't one of those things where it's like, oh, if we knew the Fever were close to winning. Like I don't think anybody.
It satisfies fan demand for updates about their favorite player, demonstrates the program's talent level, and reignites conversation around women's basketball during the offseason. The strategy proves immediately effective, generating significant engagement across social media platforms. The intersection of Clark's return with CBA negotiations creates compelling narrative. The league's biggest star speaks forcefully about ensuring players receive fair treatment while emphasizing the importance of actually playing games. This positions her as both advocate and pragmatist, someone fighting for player interests while recognizing league economic realities.
Like if we knew the Fever were close to winning, like I don't think anybody thought the Fever had a chance of getting to the finals that were Fever fans. I read it. I can't believe we beat the Dream. And the Dream were a horrible mismatch. They just shit themselves and the Fever stepped up. That being said, this is showing again Caitlin Clark trying to get back. POV, you say yes to your friends' crazy ideas just so you can hang out together. And it is Lexi Hull and Caitlin Clark in a...
Clark's combination of on-court excellence and willingness to engage serious topics positions her as central figure in women's basketball's next chapter. Recent social media posts from Lexi Hull have revealed the extensive recovery methods Caitlin Clark pursued while attempting to return from injury last season. Hull shared footage showing both players inside a hyperbaric chamber, accompanied by a caption noting the video represented one of her remaining draft posts. The footage contradicts any suggestions that Clark fabricated or exaggerated her injury status. Most reasonable observers never questioned the legitimacy of Clark's condition, though the revelation provides concrete evidence of her rehabilitation efforts.
Hull and Caitlin Clark in a hyperbaric chamber. Is that what it's called? Hyperbaric chamber. Obviously, shout out to Correlation for this aggregation, because my channel would be fucking dead if it wasn't for this Twitter page, so thank you again. But Caitlin Clark obviously in a hyperbaric chamber trying to get it. And that's the thing where it seemed like Caitlin Clark was doing everything, whether it be experimental, whether it be
According to Clark's own statements, she approached roughly 80-90% recovery but never reached full health. Each attempt to return apparently resulted in additional complications because she hadn't achieved complete healing. The decision to remain sidelined proved sensible given the circumstances. While Indiana performed better than anticipated that season, advancing further than many predicted, few believed the team possessed championship potential. The organization faced a realistic assessment of their playoff prospects, making Clark's long-term health the priority over forcing an incomplete recovery for uncertain postseason.
Whether it be experimental, whether it be like obvious rehab, she was doing everything she could to try to get back, and then it just didn't happen. It just did not happen, and unfortunately, when it came to Caitlin, she didn't get back, and I think if she was able to get back, the Fever win the championship. Maybe not beating the Mercury, because again, the Mercury were tough. Like, as much, whatever you want to say, like, the Mercury as a team, they were tough. But yeah, it's a...
The hyperbaric chamber treatment represents one element of Clark's comprehensive rehabilitation approach. Evidence suggests she pursued both conventional rehabilitation protocols and experimental therapies in her attempts to accelerate healing. Despite these exhaustive efforts, her body wouldn't cooperate with the timeline desired for playoff participation. Had Clark achieved full fitness, Indiana's championship possibilities would have improved significantly. While the Mercury presented formidable opposition during that playoff run, Clark's presence would have altered the competitive balance.
Tough. But yeah, it's an interesting one to see this now. And obviously, look, never a dull moment with these two. Obviously, had we seen this during the season, it would have stopped. And look, maybe it wouldn't have. Like, it was like 2 years. It was like in 2024 when Angel Reese falls on her wrist. There's footage of her like moving her wrist. She's in pain. Like she's holding her. She falls on her wrist. Is holding her wrist. Is moving in pain. Then got surgery.
However, rushing back from incomplete recovery could have jeopardized future seasons, making the conservative approach ultimately justified. The timing of Hull's post prevents the speculation that might have erupted if released during the active season. Similar situations with other players demonstrate how injury legitimacy becomes questioned regardless of visible evidence. Some athletes face persistent doubt about their medical conditions even after surgical procedures and documented incidents causing the injuries. Clark's critics maintain skepticism regardless of evidence presented.
Is holding her wrist, is moving in pain, then got surgery. And people are still to this day saying that she faked a wrist injury. The likelihood of her faking an injury last season, when she got suspended for a half a game and then didn't play the rest of the season. I mean, the likelihood of her embellishing an injury in there is significantly higher than the one when she literally fell. We saw her hold her wrist, then got surgery. Sorry.
The pattern suggests no amount of proof satisfies those predisposed to question her actions or motivations. Even extreme hypothetical scenarios wouldn't alter certain perspectives, as demonstrated by how media narratives sometimes distort situations involving the player. The footage has generated significant engagement across social platforms, attracting tens of thousands of views within hours of posting. Public curiosity about the video stems partly from confusion about the treatment's purpose and the circumstances of both players being present. Clark underwent the therapy for recovery purposes while Hull accompanied her, illustrating their friendship beyond professional relationships.
Sorry for headphone listeners there. In 2024. But yeah, it is an interesting one to look at, but it doesn't really matter. It's one of those weird things where it's like when it comes to Caitlin Clark haters, Caitlin Clark could literally... Caitlin Clark could do anything, but they won't. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head something when it comes to Caitlin Clark. Yeah, as Caitlin Clark could lose her arm, and they would still say that she was only doing it because she was shooting badly. That she actually, in fact,
Current indications suggest Clark has returned to optimal physical condition heading into the upcoming season. Her appearance reflects what observers describe as peak playing shape, the physical conditioning level where she performs most effectively. Athletes vary in their optimal body composition and muscle distribution, and Clark appears to excel with a leaner build. Clark's physical profile resembles endurance athletes more than power-based players. Her frame, taller and more elongated than comparable guards, benefits from functional strength rather than bulk.
Actually, in fact, she chopped her own arm off. And to be fair, the media might not do that because, according to the media, she should have used her stalker being arrested as a way to uplift other players. Oh, don't get me started on that shit. But, yeah, it is look, it's an interesting one. It is an interesting one to see. And look, these clips are